So they gave us the square root of graph. This is explicit notation, right? They wouldn't have to have given us this graph because you know it already. They could just say, like, this question, I could just get rid of all of this, and they could just say graph the following without giving you any graph to begin. First of all, I would take the time to write the 2 on the other side, okay? What's this negative going to be? Vertical reflection. What's that 3 going to be? Horizontal compression, because you do 1/3. That 3? Horizontal translation. And the 2, when I move it over, will be a vertical translation. Okay? And the 2 would be up or down? Up. The 3? Left, 3 left. Good. Perfect. Perfect. You all already forgot the important note that we said at the beginning of class. And that's how easy it is to forget that special note. This will not go 3 to the left. It's not in factored form. Oh. Can you see how easy that trap is going to be? Right? So we're going to move, okay, I'm going to move it over. I'm going to get my square root, but I have to write it like this. It's only going to be 1 to the left and not 3 to the left. Okay? I mean, I was a little bit mean. I kind of nonchalantly led you through the transformations, and I sort of like, it's going to go left or right, and then somebody says 3 to left, and I was like, yeah, 3 to left, and I just kept going with it. But it's going to be that easy to miss that. So okay. So now, if we just label things, we said them already. You're right, this is a vertical reflection, and then we have our horizontal compression, our horizontal translation, and our vertical translation. You have a bunch of points on your square root graph. For sure, you're going to have 0, 0. Okay? I am going to choose 1, 1 to show you what happens with fractions. And then I'm going to choose a nice point. I'm not going to choose 4, 2. I'm going to choose 9, 3. See if you can figure out why I'm going to do that. Compressions, stretches first. Translations second. Okay, so we have a reflection and we have a compression. So my x's are getting multiplied by 1/3. My y's, the reflection will multiply y's by -1. The translation, that 1 is 1 to the left. That 2 is 2 up. Nice thing about 0, 0, stays 0, 0. X by 1/3, 1/3, -1. Why did I choose 9, 3? Because it divided nicely by 3. So 9 just becomes 3, and 3 times a -1, -3. Next, my translations, I need to go 1 to the left, so -1. Oh! 1 to the left of 1/3 is? Are you good with -2/3? Right? How do we subtract fractions? You need a common denominator. So you'd have to do 1/3 minus 3/3. And then you'd get -2/3. How much nicer is it to take 3 and -1 and get 2? So the whole numbers are nicer. Fractions, though, aren't wrong. And just because you get fractions, don't, like, work it through. It's still good mental math practice for you. Work it through. In your mind, you should have said, oh, maybe I should have chosen a better point. Sometimes you might go back and start over again and choose a better point, but it's not wrong to have a fraction. And some questions, it will not be avoidable. They will just give you ones that have to have fractions. Okay. 2 up, this will be 2, this will be positive 1, and this will be negative 1. And you'll see for the most part, I'm going to graph things separately just to keep things clean. So I'm going to draw a separate graph here, negative 1, comma 2. So negative 1, comma 2. But when I graph on my own, I make sure that I label negative 2/3, comma 1. And I guess the best that I can do is estimate where that is. And 2, negative 1. This was my starting point. It's important to know where your starting point ended up so that you make sure you start your graph from there. Okay? The curve of my graph has to be similar to the curve of the square root graph. If you just draw somewhat of a straight line through them, you will lose a half mark for not having the shape of the original graph. Reread my question. It asks for the domain and range. The domain is that my x values are bigger than or equal to negative 1, and the range is that my y values are less than or equal to 2. Questions for practice on this one are 8 and 10.